Hey, welcome to Growing Roots. My name's Angela, and today we're going to talk about what is vertical gardening and why you should be doing it. I know it sounds so gimmicky, but it's a really awesome tactic that will help you maximize your yield, save some space, and have a great time doing it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so you're here. What is vertical gardening? That's what you're trying to figure out, right? It's so simple. It's basically growing your plants up instead of out, right? So simple. Such a great concept to really help you save space and maximize your yield. I know I said that earlier, but that's really the gist of it, okay? So as you can see behind me here, we have two pillars. Let me zoom up for you. Actually, there's three columns behind me. And I'm sitting in a raised garden bed. So we have the pillars, or the pillars going straight down as the base of the raised garden bed to help add stability. And you can add support beams off the side if you are in a really windy area or you need just that extra stability. My husband built these boxes pretty strong and this is working great for us. So I want to show you the top of that too. So we have a nice 2x4 running across, and there are a couple people who use these strings. These are just regular twine or strings who use them for a variety of different plants. So the idea behind it is that anything that is going to grow up or out. So any of your vining plants or plants such as tomatoes are going to work really well for vertical gardening because they often need some kind of support or structure or continued maintenance to continue producing a high yield. And when you do vertical gardening, it makes it a lot easier to do that. So what we have this trellis behind us today, these are all of our tomato plants. I think we have 8 or 9 plants behind us in the two different sections, and we have the strings tied up at the top and then strung down to the plant. And I'll show you the clips that we use for them, but I did want to make a note that some people drill holes through the 2x4 and string their strings through there, but we decided this year to give it a try with just tying the strings off, and it seems to be working incredibly well for us, so we are not going to be adding additional holes into our 2x4s. So let me grab those clips for you. All right, so I will show you, I'll put a link below for my Amazon link to where I got these, and I'll show you a close-up of how to use these. But these are just, they call them tomato clips. Basically, you can use them for any vining plant. And so the idea is right here in that little notch, right there, is where you're going to put the string, and then it will clip in there and keep tight, and then you clip that around the vine or tomato stem, and it will stay on there, and it has room then for the vine to move around, but the string is secured in there tight so it won't be slipping up and down and rubbing and ruining on the vine. I think I got a bag of 200 of these, 100 pieces, I think for $8 or $9, so very affordable. They are plastic, but they're reusable. So I'll show you those in a second, but I want to tell you a little bit more about my favorite thing with vertical gardening. First of all is you can put the plants a little bit closer because with the plants moving up and being able to control the way that they grow, you're able to continue to have that air circulation that is so vital to a lot of our vining plants or plants that are growing up and out. And so it's a lot easier to maintain the plants. So if you do any kind of pruning like I do on my tomatoes, I'll make another video for you so that you can see that. But you aren't bending over, you're not sitting on the ground and doing it. If it's in a raised garden bed and you're trellising upwards, you can stand while you're doing your maintenance. And so it's a lot easier on the back. And that wind circulation, that air circulation going through the plants provides additional strength and stability for the plant to grow nice and strong. Instead of if it's in a compact area where it doesn't get that growth, the stems can get really weepy. So let's move on over and I'll show you how these clips work and give you some close-ups on how it all fits together. All right, so here we are ground level, and I wanted to tell you a bit on how, once we get the string strung up, how we get it tied to the plant. So down at the base of the plant, you're gonna select your clip and find the first place where there's a V in the plant. I can show you up here for these purposes, but wherever there's a V, that's where you're gonna have a nice, strong, sturdy place to attach your clip, but you're gonna wanna do it towards the base of the plant. super simple. You tie a knot at the bottom of the string so that it doesn't tie through or slip through, and then you clip it on and you're good to go. So I picked the smallest spot right over here. These are our smallest tomato plants right now, but it's the cleanest area for you to actually see what's going on. So let me get you right up close. Okay, so here we are right here down at the bottom. You can see here's my knot in the string, and I have it clipped to the plant, and actually I have 2 stems here. We had a bunch of squirrels come in and eat all of the tops off of our tomato plants, so instead of having nice one long main stem, they all have like 6 or 7, which makes it kind of hard to trellis, but we've been figuring it out. I mean, as you can see, we have tomatoes on all of the plants already, so it's working really well. And then there's 2 different tactics that you can do. So as you move up, you can see I have just kind of twisted the plant around the string. But if I wanted to instead, I could always take the clip here, clip it to the string, and then secure, where are we? I could always secure the plant right there. Now I don't have it clipped to the string because I'm doing it one-handed, but you can always do that. And so with some of our taller plants in the back here, we already have 2 or 3 different clips on each of the plants just to help keep them upright. And as you continue to clip, then the string gets a little bit tighter, but you can always loosen it at the bottom if you need to, if it's pulling too much on the plant. It's fully adjustable, and that's one of the things I really love about it too. So I hope you have figured out the gist of what vertical gardening is and how I use it here. I want to show you one alternative way to vertical garden that's super easy. This whole concept here, aside from getting the big 4x4 posts, virtually costs us no money, and we're able to put so many more plants in this small area because of it. And with the simple, easy way of maintaining the plants, we're going to get a ton of tomatoes over here. So let me show you some of the other plants and the other way that we are vertical gardening right now. Okay, so over to the left, you can see those are our tomato trellises. We actually have more tomatoes out here and a couple of them in cages. We went through like 16 different plants this year because of all the critters eating them this spring. But our second here is a cattle panel trellis or arbor. And we're just getting started with all of our vining plants this year. We had a lot of setbacks with our garden, but you can see here we have some squash, some zucchini, and some cucumbers that are starting. And with this first set over here, I have him clipped up one time. Can you see the clip down there? Right down there. I have him clipped, and he's clipped and tied onto clipped onto the trellis, I guess, or the arbor, so that it doesn't go anywhere. So you can see I've got some weeding to do. But these guys, as soon as they get ready to climb, like our cucumbers here, I can either weave them through the cattle panels themselves, or I can just clip them on. But the great thing about using an arbor like this is that the plants or the fruit, the vegetables that come through, they'll be hanging, and so I can see them and pick them without them rotting on the ground or missing them or having the dogs eat them. That's the biggest problem at my house. But even over here, I have a tomato plant that I think that has just started to kind of weave over on its own. And so I gave it a pepper plant? I don't know what I said. But I gave it a clip to the post so that it would stay there. Look, we have some really great, these are just California bell peppers, I think. Yeah. But they're looking really good, and more weeding that needs to be done. But over here, same concept. Now it looks empty right now, but we already had all of our snow peas here, and they've all been consumed. So we're on to our next section. We have some pumpkins that really desperately need to go in and get some water, and I think we have another zucchini or yellow squash there. But even our beans, these are bush beans, but I could have even put these over closer to the pole and had them leaning on that to get some extra stability there. So it's just so great. It's such a great idea. This was one cattle panel, and you can see I can barely touch the top of it, and I am 5'7", so in the raised garden beds, it's totally worth it. So these are a couple of good tips and tricks, and hopefully a little bit of just background information on how to vertical garden. So if you have questions, comment below, and let's use this plant community to help each other grow some more, okay? We'll see you in the next video. Thanks.